Well, I'm at my buddy's house in eastern Tennessee. Renee and I drove down here. She's with me. And we drove down here yesterday on Friday and had a good trip down. We were tired. I'd gotten home. I'd driven through the night after the Thursday night service. And I got to bed about 4. Renee and I got to bed about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I got up about 8 o'clock the next day, got 3 or 4 hours sleep, and finished doing some work for Bible Truth Music and a few errands around the house. Finally got on the road about noon and then drove and got here to my buddy's house. Yeah, I'm at my buddy's house. You can tell in the background he likes the Pittsburgh sports teams. And so we're here, and this upcoming week, Renee and I will have celebrated 39 years of marriage. Oh, it's wonderful. So we're on our little vacation. Now, tomorrow I'm still preaching at a church by the grace of God. I'll be preaching at Eastside Baptist Church with Pastor David Fox, F-O-X. It's a real shame that he only has one X on his name. You know, the proper way to spell Fox, of course, is 2 X's. That's the refined, sophisticated way. 2 X's got on my dad's birth certificate by accident. All the rest of the family members had 1 X, and somehow on my dad's birth certificate, he got 2, and he passed it on down to me. And so, in all of our family, we're the only ones with 2 X's. But it makes us different. Everybody knows I'm a little different. Well, there you go. But I'll be with Pastor David Fox there at Eastside Baptist Church in Greenville, Tennessee. And looking forward to having a good day on July the 3rd. And then July the 4th. Oh, yeah. It's our nation's birthday. And it's amazing, America. You know, those 56 men who pledged their sacred honor and gave themselves, signing those documents, those founding fathers. Praise God for America and our country as readily identified with God. No other country besides Israel has so readily identified with God Jehovah. And I thank the Lord that I am an American. I love everybody in the world. You know, some people say, I don't like those Chinese. Well, I love the Chinese. I don't like the Chinese style of government. I don't like communism. But the Chinese people are precious. And Japanese and just all the people of the world. I love them all. But I like our form of government the best of any government in the world. A constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. So this past week had 18 services at Capital Baptist Church in Dover, Delaware. Pastor Terry Moore. And I got to preach alongside of evangelist Richard Harper and evangelist Dan Knickerbocker. In fact, he gave me this shirt. I like this. Evangelist Dan Knickerbocker, thank you. In fact, when my wife saw this shirt, my wife said, oh, Byron, you've developed some good taste in buying shirts. You bought yourself a nice shirt. Well, no, it's given to me by my friend, Evangelist Dan Knickerbocker. And I'm glad about that. And then also preaching in the meeting was Sam Davison from Heartland Baptist Bible College. And, of course, that church that he pastored there in Oklahoma for such a long time. And he's a tremendous Bible preacher. And then 2 young pastors, each preached once. Pastor Knickerbocker and Pastor Combs. These are young men sent out of Capital Baptist Church. And they're both pastoring churches now, and they're doing good. And they both brought wonderful messages Thursday morning. We went out soul winning, by the way, during the week. And God did allow us to lead a man to Christ, and we thank God for that. And I gave out, I don't know how many tracts, scores of tracts. And, I went back and counted up. You know, Bible Truth Music has not been a tract printer per se, but in these last 35 years, our ministry has printed 3 million tracts. And it's all about the gospel. And so Bible Truth Music, we've done a little bit in the gospel track arena. Now, we've not done like Fellowship Track League. They're over 5 billion. I think they're at 5.1 billion gospel tracks. That's an amazing number. Bible Truth Music's a drop in the bucket in comparison. But I'm glad that BTM has been involved in printing gospel tracks along the way. And so a wonderful, wonderful week this past week. Of course, our country, good things are happening in our country. We're starting some new churches, and we're seeing some souls saved, and the Bible is being preached. And Roe versus Wade did get overturned, and we have some governors who are working at improving things in the state. My governor, Mr. Glenn Youngkin, this past Tuesday evening, he had a webinar. He was on a webinar where he talked about his pro-life stance, and I'm thankful for that. We want every governor to be pro-life, and babies are precious. They're a gift from God. You know, there was a young man who said this silly statement. He said, yeah, me and my girlfriend, we're trying to decide if we're going to have the baby. Son, you're not deciding if you're going to have the baby. You're trying to decide if you're going to kill the baby. You already have a baby. And that we get a right outlook on these things. And by the way, I'm hearing that Christians, those Christians, they stand up for pro-life, but then they don't care about the children once they're born. That's not true. No, God's people love the children. Why do you think we have bus ministries? Why do you think we have Sunday school? Why do you think we have nurseries? Why do you think that pastors work everlastingly at having wonderful outreaches for children? Because we love children. In fact, as far as the adoptions, do you know that Christians 2 times more than people who are not Christians, Christians 2 times more adopt babies? That's a fact. No, don't tell me that Christians don't love babies after they're born. We absolutely do. And Christians, you go look at the pregnancy crisis centers, you're going to find a lot of Christians working there and serving there and volunteering their time there. And Renee and I, we give money to help pregnancy crisis centers, and we're happy about that. And we have a children's home that we give to every month too. Yes, Christians, we do love children. And every great preacher in America started as a little baby. Moses, one of the greatest Christians of all time, one of the greatest leaders of all time, Moses, do you know he started as a little baby? And of course, we Christians love babies. This past Thursday evening, Brother Knickerbocker and I preached that evening. I preached first, and he preached second. And just before he preached, he got all the children up on the platform. And he and I both prayed over the children. The future of Capital Baptist Church was standing right on that platform. And he reminded us, Brother Knickerbocker reminded us about how Gypsy Smith was prayed over. He was prayed over. They put the hand on him and, oh God, may this boy get the call of God upon his life. And a little boy named Gypsy Smith, he did become a dynamic preacher. Yeah, he started as a boy, Gypsy Smith did. And so, yes, don't tell me that Christians don't care for babies, because we do. And we stand strong for children and love the children, and we look for ways to provide for them. Now, there's Christians who are mean and nasty. I know that. Christians need to shape up. I agree with that. But as a generalization, Christians are the most loving people on the earth. And we care because God told us to love our neighbor as ourselves. And God himself is love. Did you know that? God is love. By the way, God sent his son. He sent his only begotten son, and he came as a baby. And he grew, and he never sinned one time. And Jesus, the eternal Son of God, died on a cross that all could be saved. That's God's redemption program. God himself established the program. And so that's been my week this past week, and I'm looking forward to vacation next week. Oh yeah, I'm going to preach for David Fox, that good pastor. We're doing a Sunday school morning service, having dinner on the grounds, and then having an afternoon service. And then Monday through Saturday, I'm having vacation. And then next Sunday, by the grace of God, I'll be preaching for Pastor Mark Fowler in Elizabethton, Tennessee. But my wife and I are looking forward to having a great week of vacation. And so I hope wherever you are that you're doing well. Make your plans to be in church Sunday morning, afternoon or evening service, wherever you go. You know, a lot of churches now have afternoon services. Nothing wrong with that. I'm happy about that. What I'm against is having less church. If you cancel your Sunday evening services every single week and don't have an afternoon service, then I'm not in favor of that. But if you have afternoon services rather than evening services, not a problem with that. No problem. I just know we don't need less church. We need more church. Well, friends, let's serve the Lord. Let's read our Bibles. Let's do the next right thing. May God bless.